What's up, Star Wars fans? Today I want to share some Kenobi series predictions. That's right, today we're going to be throwing down some speculation on one of the most anticipated Star Wars shows ever. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series sees the return of Ewan McGregor and his old pal Hayden Christensen. But hey, before we get to that, if you love Star Wars and speculation, then hit that subscribe button and come back again soon for more. So let's get to this speculation. I reached out on the community tab to ask you, the community, what you thought was coming in Kenobi, and as always, you came up with some fantastic speculation. So let's get to those comments, and Gabe Nelson is the first one. He states simply, "I can't wait for the Inquisitors. They were so cool in Rebels and Jedi Fallen Order." And yes, Gabe, I can't wait to see the Inquisitors in live action. They were absolutely amazing in the first couple seasons of Star Wars Rebels, and then it was great to see them in Jedi Fallen Order, but to see the Inquisitors hunting down Obi-Wan Kenobi himself in live action, that is going to be a whole new level, and I can't wait for it. And of course, the latest rumor is that we're going to see the Grand Inquisitor in this series, the Inquisitor from Star Wars Rebels Season 1. Now personally, I don't think we're going to see the Grand Inquisitor fighting Obi-Wan Kenobi. I just don't think that would go so well for him. No, I think his role is initially just going to be sending other Inquisitors after Kenobi. But hey, thanks Gabe for sharing your excitement about the Inquisitors. Obviously, I'm pretty excited too. But hey, let's move on to commenter Star Wars and More. He states, "I would love to hear Vader say, 'Anakin Skywalker was weak, so I destroyed him.' I feel like this would really help lead Obi-Wan into realizing Anakin is dead and their only hope is Luke." In Star Wars and More, you make a great point here. One of the things we need to get from the Kenobi series is just to see exactly how Kenobi goes from that character in the prequels to quite a different character that we see in the original trilogy. And certainly you bring up one example where Darth Vader could tell Obi-Wan Kenobi that he killed Anakin Skywalker. Hearing something like that during a fight against Darth Vader, in which Obi-Wan Kenobi is no longer able to get the upper hand, well, that could really cement this idea that Luke Skywalker, Anakin's son, well, he is the true chosen one and the one to bring peace to the galaxy and destroy the Sith. Because remember, in Star Wars Rebels Season 3, Obi-Wan Kenobi reveals that he believes that Luke Skywalker is actually the chosen one. But hey, thanks for that comment, Star Wars and More. Let's move on back to the community tab. We got a comment from Jay Mikowski. He states, "Since it's very likely that we'll get flashbacks to the time of the Clone Wars, I think Commander Kenobi will be in some of those flashbacks. Then, in the present, he'll be a high-ranking Imperial working alongside the Inquisitors to hunt down Kenobi." And yes, Jay, as a huge fan of Star Wars animation, I would love to see Commander Cody in this show. But I just have this feeling that they're not going to include him for some reason. And I guess mainly that reason is because we already have the Inquisitors, and I don't think we're going to have the Inquisitors and Cody. Don't get me wrong, again, I'd love to see this, but I just don't think Cody is going to have a big role in this series. Though hey, we might see a small cameo, which would be cool too. But hey, thanks for that comment. As always, Jay, big supporter of the channel. And let's move on now to another big supporter of the channel, Medieval Man 9. He states on the community tab, "We'll get some interesting, possibly unknown, and definitely some confirmed fan theories into Obi-Wan's frame of mind at this moment in his life. At the same time, we're also dealing with something that is going to be connected to the Favloniverse, so expect some minor characters to be introduced that have some future series such as Ahsoka." And as always, I think you're definitely on the right track here, Medieval Man 9. I definitely foresee Episode 1 being a lot of the frame of mind that Obi-Wan is in, and in fact, it could be a bit of a slow start to the series. But hey, if it involves some flashbacks including Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars, then that certainly make it all worthwhile. So thanks for that comment, Medieval Man 9, and now let's move on to ARAV GP. But before we get to his comment, I do have to say that it does include some of the leaks that have been coming out about the Kenobi series. These supposed leaks do make sense, but they certainly haven't been confirmed. But either way, consider yourself warned. Let's get into the comment. Arav comments, "Kenobi will go off Tatooine on a mission to rescue Princess Leia." And so far, that does seem like the basis for getting Kenobi off Tatooine. Bail Organa is going to contact Kenobi for help, as the young Princess Leia has gotten herself captured or kidnapped at some point. And like I mentioned earlier, that does make a lot of sense. Why else would Kenobi leave Tatooine other than to rescue Luke's sister? Because after all, Leia could also be the chosen one. or at least have the potential to be as powerful, if not more powerful, than Luke Skywalker. So if there is any reason that Kenobi is going to end up leaving Luke, it just makes a lot of sense that it would be to rescue Leia. But that certainly wasn't the only prediction that Arav made on the community tab. He also predicted that we might see Cody and Rex, as well as some more hints as to who exactly rescued Grogu. And personally for me, I think the most likely out of those three is certainly Cody. I would love to see an older Rex played by Tamora Morrison, but I think if we're going to get Rex, it's probably going to happen in the Ahsoka series. That said, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised, and maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised that we get a little hint about Grogu, but I don't think that's very likely either because Grogu just has such an important part in The Mandalorian, and as far as I know, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni really haven't had much, if any, input on the writing of this series, and that's certainly something they would want if Grogu was going to be involved, even in some small way. So thanks for that comment, Arav. Let's move on now back to the community tab where we have John Lang, and he states, we will most likely get a Force Ghost visit from Qui-Gon. And absolutely, John, I can't wait to see a Force Ghost visit from Qui-Gon. I think there's a really good chance that that Force Ghost meeting is going to take place early on, probably in episode 1. As I've already said, I think we're going to get the flashbacks in episode 1. We're really going to get the struggle that Obi-Wan is having living on Tatooine, and I think helping him through that is going to be his former master Qui-Gon Jinn in the form of a Force Ghost. And something else that John Lang commented on the community tab that we're probably going to get early on in that first episode is a confrontation between Owen Lars and Obi-Wan. Owen telling him to get lost, that we don't want Luke to be like his father, and that of course Obi-Wan isn't allowed to train him. That all said, that first episode definitely sounds like it's going to be a rough one for Obi-Wan Kenobi. But hey, thanks for that, John Lang. Let's move on now to Willie. He states in the comments, Vader and Obi-Wan will meet in person, fight, and the battle will end in Obi-Wan faking his death so that the Empire leaves him alone. He will then return to Tatooine and now believe Vader cannot be redeemed, and that's why he says to Luke in A New Hope that he's more machine than man, because Obi-Wan actually had the experience of not only seeing but fighting against Vader. And hey Willie, a great callback to that line in A New Hope. As I said earlier, I hope we get many of these moments that really bridge things between the prequels in the original trilogy and that relationship between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi that we see in A New Hope during their lightsaber battle. But hey, Star Wars fans, that's our community speculation. I want to say a big thank you to everybody that left a comment on the community tab, and remind everybody not to get too attached to any of these ideas. The series itself may turn out to include some of these things, but it also might be vastly different, so certainly keep your mind open. That said, it's time for you to join our community and leave your speculation in the comments below. As always, I'm Mike, and remember, the Force is with you.